Hello and welcome to the Camper Van. First chance to get away for a very long time, but I am a member of 3 different local walking groups because I like walking. It's good and healthy. It's a nice, easy, social thing to do. You can converse with people without having to shout or cup your ear over any loud music like you might get in a bar or whatever. And there's lots of lovely places round here to walk, whether it's the Malvern Hills or the Cotswolds or whatever. Anyway, I've got a walk this morning and a walk tomorrow, and they are both down near Stroud in Gloucestershire. So I thought, how about I go in the van and do a one-night overnight stop in the van and bring you along as well, because I am aware I haven't used the van much lately and I haven't put out many van videos. There is a reason for that. I explained my current situation over on a video on my boat channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. It suffices to say that van opportunities are limited at present, but here is one, and it's a glorious day, and the weather's good for tomorrow as well, so I shall get on my way down to Stroud.
On arrival at Eastington near Stroud, I set off with my walking buddies over lovely open fields. Lovely, soggy open fields. This dampness would come to haunt me later on. It was a glorious day of sunshine, albeit with a bit of a breeze in the open. This house, if you fancy a delightful cottage in the country, is for sale. Unfortunately, the road it sits on seems to be surprisingly busy. There were occasional obstacles like this stream, the bridge over which had a tree branch across it that everyone had to limbo under without falling in. Uphill we went and down dale and back into muddy swamps. It's all part of the fun. We went through wooded areas, got lost, retraced our steps and carried on. It was only about 4 miles or so and a gentle amble, but enough to stretch the legs. Ah, Captain's logs. And this was our start and end point, a former pub, now cafe, with some, to my eyes, rather expensive cakes and pastries. I took out a mortgage and bought a cheese and ham toastie and a blueberry and lemon cake, which was too soggy.
Walk done, very pleasant, lovely company as always, and glorious in the sunshine. Cheese and ham toastie and cake consumed, so now it's off to the campsite.
The drive took about 40 minutes. I couldn't find a campsite closer, which was unexpected. A lot of them seemed to be still closed for winter. There were roadworks. There are always roadworks. But this I did not expect to encounter. It looks like a bike at first glance, but hang on, I can see 2 heads, and they're perfectly in line. Is it? It is! A tandem! Crikey! Finally, I made it to the campsite, where I nearly ran over a pheasant. They have a death wish, those birds.
Out the way, pheasant. Come on, pheasant, out the way, you daft sausage.
It was then that disaster struck.
Well, we have an immediate dilemma in that it said, pick one of the marked pitches. I can't see any marks, but I drove onto the field, and no more than 5 yards onto the field, and the van is stuck in soft, squishy, muddy grass. I can't go forward, I can't go backwards. I've tried rocking the van. It ain't moving. This is a problem. I've just tried calling the number on the sign. Of course, it went to voicemail, so now I shall have to trudge around and see if I can find someone. Perhaps there'll be someone in the sauna who can help. I've spoken to the owners, who are lovely, and it turns out that this bit of wood on the ground is supposed to delineate don't come into the field. However, I would strongly argue that having driven in from the main gate, going through there does look like the entrance, and I certainly had no idea the field was so soggy. Apparently they have someone on site with a tractor who can pull me out, and then I shall park up on just the gravel area immediately as you come in. Either way, my only plan for the day was to sit and read a book in the van, so I shall commence that plan, undaunted. I see a tractor arriving. That should do the job.
This very helpful chap was a superstar, and after a bit of head scratching as we tried to work out where the towing eye was for the van, it turns out it's under the bonnet, he gently pulled the van free.
There we go, the van is free, back on gravel, and I now have, apart from the occasional car coming behind me, a rather splendid, peaceful countryside spot with sunny views. You know, there's been no traffic for the last 10 minutes. The instant I press record, hordes of cars coming past. These are the facilities. 3 toilets, 1 urinal, 2 showers, a sink area, potable water, and a sort of seating area. The van is on a slight slope that way, hence putting the van this way so that when I am sleeping tonight I will be rolling against that side of the van. I think, after all that excitement, I need a cup of tea. And for that, I need water. I appear to have brought half the field in with me. Where are the tea bags? Oh, hang on, they're in. Where did I? Oh. Right, where were we? Tea. And a scone with jam and butter. I've got the tea bags. For things are finally... Perhaps I'm going to jinx things. I was about to say things are finally coming to plan. Or not. Did I not just say, have I jinxed it? Why is the water now not running? What is going on? There's the pump. The pump is running, but it's not pumping. This was supposed to be a relaxing weekend. I think I'm going to scream. Do you remember this fell off before? And that's nothing to do with it not pumping water. It just needed a bit of priming. And I got it working. And then the blooming tap fell off again. What is going on? What is going on? I have pushed it firmly back on. I am determined to have a cup of tea. Right, let's have a cup full of water to start with. That can go into the kettle. That is on. If I don't get tea soon, there is going to be a riot. A riot of one person. Me. Rioting. Quietly. At last. A little bit of civilization. Tea and scones. Well, other than enjoying the peace and quiet, and the bird song and all that, I really do have no other plan than sitting here and reading a book for the rest of the day, which is not going to make for a very interesting video. But there we go. So, until further notice, I shall be reading. Please do not disturb. It is now evening time, and I am going to do my classic standard boat/van meal of chicken in white sauce from a tin, and I'm going to pop it on some pasta this time. It's easy to make, filling and delicious. There we go. Delicious. And because I keep getting bizarre comments from people bemoaning a lack of fruit and veg in my food, I have added tomato, which manages simultaneously to be fruit and, in culinary terms, a vegetable. So I've taken care of everything. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning. There's a little breeze, which is a little bit chilly, but it's basically nice. And look at that sun. It's going to be a glorious day. I've just had a shower in the shower blocks here, and I must say, because of the corrugated iron and somewhat open nature of the shower block, I was really worried that it was going to be an Arctic blast from above. But no, what a revelation. Not a huge amount of pressure, but the water was super, super warm, really nice. And because it is all open to the elements and ventilated, all the steam just kind of dissipated, and I dried off really quickly instead of having to wade through a fog of steam that you normally have to do. No, these were very good indeed. Look at that sun streaming through the door. I'm almost slightly annoyed that I've organised to go on this walk, and therefore need to head off at 9 o'clock. I could just sit here again all day, enjoying that bird song and the tranquility. Oh, this is lovely. I shall be back here at some point for a longer stay, I think.
Another 40-minute drive would take me to the start point of this walk at Miserden. To get there, I went through little villages like wherever this is, as well as open stretches of rather pleasant countryside. And also, of course, there were some bits of classic British country road, which, for the benefit of my overseas viewers, I will point out is two-way traffic and a speed limit of, well, go on, guess. Yes, 60 miles an hour.
Slight right.
Slight right. Needless to say, I was not doing 60 up here, but maybe 30 or so at best. It looks faster on camera because of the wide-angled lens. It is exciting though, never knowing if you're about to meet some maniac coming the other way. At last I made it to Miserden. And I went for my second walk of the weekend, a longer one this time of about 7 miles, starting off with some marvellous hillside views. Our halfway refreshment break was in the gorgeous village of Duntisbourne Abbots. Then we trekked on again. This was our end stop this time, and on the way back to the car park I found this classic Honesty stall, so I bought some blueberry jam. Then I went home. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.